to have that additional layer of security. And if you've not done that, quickly go do that now, because the hackers are getting smarter and smarter every day.
Welcome to the PV show Moments of Truth. And today we really want to tackle the topic securing your social media account. We are looking at Facebook to be specific from hackers. But first of all, you give us a little introduction about yourself.
That's a kind of difficult question. I don't like talking about myself, yeah. But I would say, as you know, my name is Precious. First of all, let me thank you for the privilege to be on your show. It's a show that I've been following all the way from in Australia, and also see the good things you'll be doing with your followers as well, and that's really good. Who is Precious? Precious is someone very simple, and he used to live in Ghana before he moved for his master's to Australia. And he has been in Australia for quite a while now. And he did his master's in cybersecurity, finished that, and now he's working in the IT field. IT is something I'm so passionate about. Like, I'm into a lot of areas in IT, and there's need for security to be also talked about. That's why I see today's topic to be very, very important. And aside IT, what else do I do? Am I allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, aside IT, what do I do? I cook for fun. So you can just put that on my CV. I cook for fun. I'm also a footballer. I play football for fun as well. And I also like adventure. So these are other things I do aside everyday IT, aside sitting behind the PC every day.
All right.
Hope that's enough.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. But first of all, let's go straight to the topic. Why has it become very, very important for us to tackle this topic, securing your social media accounts, especially Facebook, from hackers? Why is it very important for the general public to know much about this?
Yeah, it's quite important because today a lot of people put in their details. Could it be financial details, personal details online? They store information online. If it's with organizations, they store all that online. And if you don't have a proper security system to take care of that, you tend to lose this, and it gets to the hand of malicious users. And sometimes we call them hackers. Some of them do it just for doing sake. Some of them just do it just to get back at people. And you don't know the sort of damage this can cause. So it's very important that when you put your stuff out there, you also protect your stuff. And that is why we need to talk about this. It's very important that we talk about this as well.
All right. Okay, so we'll go straight to the first question. Who are hackers? I think you've touched on it, but let's look at it, the in-depth meaning of who a hacker is. Yeah.
Hackers, I would say there are two types of hackers. So if you just classify them to be bad guys, you're going to go against one set of hackers. Hackers, I would say there are two types of them. Number one, the good ones, I'll call them the ethical hackers, and then the bad guys, the unethical hackers. The ethical hackers, these are people that organizations employ to check to see if there are loopholes in the organization. And if they find any loopholes, they steal them from those outside. Security loopholes. It could be with their security system, their backups, and all that, how they store their information. So these are people that are employed by the organization with the permission of the organization. Now, the unethical hackers, these are people that could be disgruntled employees that were sacked. Maybe they were treated fairly. It could be people that just want to do it for the fun of it. But their main goal is to cause damage. Their main goal is to cause a form of financial debt to organizations, to people, to whoever they attack. Some of them do it for the fun, some of them do it just to get back at people, and that's it. So hackers could be classified as ethical hackers or unethical hackers.
But then how can we connect them to Facebook? These hackers, how do we connect them to Facebook?
Now with Facebook, there are software people have come up with, right, that can guess passwords, and it's good that people protect their accounts on Facebook, as we're talking about Facebook now. Looking at, for example, take a celebrity that uses a weak password on Facebook, and hacker just gets the password, and just imagine the sort of damage that hacker will cause with that account. If it's to get financial gain, if it's to impersonate them, there are a lot of things you can do. So it's just to protect yourself from allowing your account to fall into the wrong hands. That's it.
All right. But then when we look at crackers, right? Who are crackers? And also what's the difference between hackers and crackers? Yeah.
A cracker, I would say, people, when software companies, developers come up with software, right? Some of them put license behind the software just for private use and all that. So what you see, a software that's supposed to last for 30 days, a software that's supposed to last for a month, a software that's supposed to last for a year, or a single user software. These malicious users go into the software, look for the loopholes and bypass these loopholes. And then now a software that's supposed to last for 60 days or 30 days, now lasting for more than a year, lasting for 5 years. So people go into the software, exploit the loopholes, because these are also programmers. So software developers are programmers. So these hackers are also programmers as well. So they go in, look for the loopholes, and then what do? They exploit them. And then that's how they get bypass those security features on the software. So we can classify them as also hackers as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But what about account security? Someone is out there, do not even know what it means. When we talk about security, what most people think about is protecting your home and all that. But then when we talk about account security, what does it really mean? And why is it very, very important to take that into consideration as you grow in your social media activities? Yeah.
First of all, as everyone knows, it's common to everyone, but not a lot of people utilize that, the password system. Now, we're still talking about Facebook. Facebook has created that platform where you put in your password, but it's not left to the user to follow the guidelines for the password, entering your password. For Facebook, I think it's 8 characters. It should be 8 characters long, right? Now, if you want to secure your account using your password, just a password, you need to have a strong password. And what is a strong password? A strong password is a password that is a combination of numbers, alphabets, and special characters. Special characters could be full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation mark. And when you're creating a strong password, do not use a password. Do not create a password that can be easily guessed. Maybe, for example, your first name and then your date of birth, or maybe somebody's name. Combination of characters, numbers, alphabets, question mark. And when you create this password, do not write it in a place where, do not store it in a place where somebody can easily access. That is number one. Number two, there's something Facebook also use two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Two-factor authentication is when there's an added security on top of your password. And this is when you add your phone number to your profile. And after entering your password, Facebook will prompt you, security will prompt you, are you the one entering? Are you the one logging into this profile? And then that text message will be sent to the number you provided to that account, for that account. And then if you're the one, you can always accept. And if you're not the one, you can reject it. Now, if someone guesses your password for your Facebook account and tries to log in, That message will be sent to the phone number you provided. And imagine if people that lose their account today that have two-factor authenticator generate two-factor authentication turned on for their account. Imagine if they had that turned on and then someone tries to access their account and that text message is sent to their phone number and they said no. That's how they can protect their account. And then they go ahead to change your password. So two-factor authentication is also another strong means of what protecting your account. A added layer of security on top of your password, your strong password. Because people out there, hackers out there, they've come up with software that can guess password, that can manipulate and get. I don't know how they do it, but program. That's what they do. So strong password, two-factor authentication, and number 3, have a recovery email address, so that if you forget your password, if you want to change your password, if you're noticing some form of malicious activity on your account, you can always use your recovery email to secure your account. So I would say these three are very important. I would say anyone out there can use these 3. And there is a code generator and other ones, but these 3 is quite the basic for anyone out there to use to protect their account. 2 or more is enough. Yeah.
Okay. But as an expert, I mean, you've been in the field for a while. Why? I think you've mentioned it, but let's take a look at it again. Why do people hack into other people's accounts? Is it profitable? Stealing of Visa ID details? What exactly make people hack into other people's accounts?
Just to cause damage, and there's no one that is happy about it. That's why Facebook, because we're talking about Facebook, that's why Facebook has created this opportunity for people to protect themselves. People do this. Imagine someone who, like an organization or maybe an individual that does sponsoring on Facebook, maybe sponsors an advert on Facebook, so they have their bank details on Facebook. So imagine if this individual loses their account to a malicious person, malicious hacker that is on Facebook, a hacker, right? Now that hacker has control over everything on that account. So that's why it's necessary, it's very important that you protect yourself. Use the tools that are provided by Facebook to protect yourself.
All right. But then I think sometimes, let's say you are trying to log into your account, you've forgotten your password, and then you decide to change the password. They ask you if you would want to save the password. Is it good to save the password, or you just let it go? Because I mean, my normal, the little knowledge I have, I feel like, okay, if I save it, it will be easier for the hackers to get access to. And also I was thinking that, okay, if you don't save it to, and next time you want to log into the account, it will be very difficult. But from the IT perspective, is it okay to save your passwords? Yeah.
Look at this. When you're prompted to save your password, now I'm going to use 2 platforms. If you're using the web browser, if you're using the Google Chrome, the web browser, right? It prompts you to save your password. This is because Google Chrome has a password manager, right? That stores password. So if it prompts you to save your password, it's going to be saved in that password manager, so that tomorrow or another day when you want to log into Facebook, you don't need to enter your password again. Now, how do you protect yourself using the password manager on Google Chrome? Now, to access your password, maybe for example, you forget your password on Facebook and you want to log on using your browser, you can go to settings on Google Chrome, go to settings and look for password, save passwords. Before you can access your password, you need to enter the login details, how you log into your computer, for example, your laptop or whatever, your iPad or whatever. How you log in. I'm sure some people use passwords, some people use 4 digits and all that. That is what unlocks your password, right? So definitely for you to get to that stage means that you know the password for your laptop or your device. So when you enter that is when you can see your password. So it is the password manager that prompt you to save the password, not Facebook itself.
Okay.
Now with the phone, there's also that setting that also prompts you. Do you want to save this password? So there's also a password manager for some phones. I've noticed some phones have that. And the same way to access it, the same way you log onto your phone, your PIN code, your facial recognition, your thumbprint, that is what you use to access. So whatever prompts you, the prompt you get to save a password is not on Facebook, but the device you're using, the browser you're using, that's what prompts you. And it's advisable to also save it if you are the only user of that device. But if you are not the only user of that device, maybe you go to a public place where you're using a public laptop or public desktop or any device, it's advisable not to save your password.
When it comes to accepting friend requests, do you have to take certain measures before you accept people's friend requests? You don't know who a hacker is. You don't know who you are accepting into your jurisdiction. So what are some of the best ways to check out people before you accept them within your jurisdiction? Yeah.
First of all, I would say, before we get to that question, I would say as a user on Facebook, you have to be mindful of what you put out there.
Okay.
Because if you are security conscious, what about that friend you have on Facebook? They may not be security conscious as you are. So now if that friend loses their account to a malicious user, a hacker, right? A bad person, an unethical hacker. Now, your information out there is available to them. For example, you put in your birth date, your phone number, where you live, and certain private details on Facebook. It's not open to your friends and people that you added as your friends. Now, with this, let's take an example. You want to add more friends, and then you get this strange friend request. You don't know this person, right? Now you have to first scan through the person's profile. In doing this, I would say some people also duplicate profiles. Some people put that information out there that you may think it's genuine. You can also be misled. Now, if you don't know the person, it's best to leave it. If you don't know the person, it's best to leave it. But also look out for certain things that will prompt you that is this person the right person? Is this person just an ordinary Facebook user or somebody who just wants to get into my account? That's one thing you need to ask yourself. Because, for example, let's take someone sent you a friend request without a profile picture. Someone sends a friend request with 2-3 friends. Someone sends a friend request with no information on their profile. That should ring a bell. That I don't know this person, and who is this person? No profile picture, no details about this person. Now, there are times where people can use duplicate profiles. Maybe your friend, somebody can just create a profile similar to them, use even their pictures. We see that a lot on Facebook today. And then they send you a friend request. Before you accept it, get an extra confirmation. Try to contact that person off Facebook. And then ask them, are you the one sending me this friend request? That is good, because if you don't get that extra confirmation and you go ahead, that is how you can lose your details if that person is the wrong person. A lot of that has been happening on Facebook. A lot of people have lost their accounts because of this. So I always suggest, before you add anyone on Facebook, do due diligence, do your investigation, your little investigation. Sometimes they may be misleading, but just an extra layer of cautiousness is important.
Okay. Then when there is a duplicated account, you have your personal account, but someone else happens to create a different one in your name, what do you do? And maybe the content the person is putting there is so fake, and maybe they might have even hacked into your phone and gotten access to certain private items, and then they begin to post on your social media handle. How do you go about that?
Let me give an example of something that happened recently. I'll say a few weeks ago.
Okay.
This my friend is into went to the same high school together. He's into clothes and brand, this designer clothes. There was a time I got a message from him. This on Instagram, not on Facebook. There was a time I got a message from him, and the message was relating to me tapping on this link and then logging in. It was like, I'm in this show. I want you to go patronize me on this show. I was like, okay. And then I noticed he was trying to push me, like that sense of urgency. And then I tapped on the link, which people should not do.
Okay.
Because here's the case. This is a friend of mine. I know he's into clothing and all that. And I tapped on the link. And one thing I noticed was after tapping on the link, I was prompted to enter my details, my login details. That was what rang a bell in my head. I was like, no. Because a lot of people, what they do is once they tap on that link, they go ahead to enter the login details, and the person behind takes those details, and that's how you lose your account. So this was what my friend did. He tapped on that link, and then that was how he lost his account. So what did I do? When I saw that link, I went behind. I talked to my friend. Hey, did you send me any message regarding this? Any? I was like, he said, no, he's lost his account because he did that. He tapped on the link and then entered his details. That's why he lost his account. So out there, when you notice people losing their account like this, as a friend, as a follower, what do? You report and you block. Facebook, Instagram, other social media have created this option. Report and then block. And when you're reporting, indicate that this is someone who is impersonating another person. And then when Facebook gets, I think, a number of that, they block that account. Now, if you are the one at the other end that has lost their account, you can always recover your account. I know of another friend who someone asked him for his phone number on Facebook because you know what he did? He added this number as a security measure to his Facebook account. And he sent it his phone number, and that's how he lost his account. Instantly, what did they do? Reported to Facebook, and that's how he got his account back. You know, looking at these two scenarios, there are a lot of people. I'll classify them under two categories: the proactive people and then the reactive people. Proactive people are those who protect their account, who add that security measure, who add that layer of security to protect themselves against any form of attack. Reactive people are people that wait for something to happen before they do that, right? So people fall under these two categories out there on the internet. But I would suggest that people fall under the proactive group because prevention is better than cure, as people say. It's best to protect your account because it's not funny when you lose your content out there to hacker. So even if you get it back, a lot of damage would have been done. So it's best to protect yourself before any attack should occur.
Lastly, we'll go to followers. I mean, assuming I'm following this particular person, and then I realize the person's account is hacked. What am I supposed to do? Sometimes they'll send some money issues, like maybe the person did world remit or something, and the person got this amount of money. Is it okay for me to open the message to see what it is? Or just don't touch it at all? Maybe delete, unfriend the person, or I don't know. What am I supposed to do as a follower when I realize that the person I'm following account is hacked? What is the next move? What do I do?
Now, what people do, another thing people hackers do on Facebook. Once they see that they cannot get your account, maybe they cannot get your password, maybe you have two-factor authentication and that other stuff. What they do now is they send you a link, right? Like this, my friend that lost his account on Instagram. They send you a link, and then people that are not aware, people that are not well informed, they tap on that link. There are two things that happen. Something can be downloaded onto your device. That is one. Someone's quite complicated. I don't want to go there. Number two, when you open that link, maybe they ask you to log in with your Facebook details, your Instagram details, and other details. Once you log in, there's someone at the other end that takes those details and quickly access your account and change your password and all that. So when you get any link on Facebook, number one, it should be from a trusted person. If that is passed, number two, do not tap on the link first until you've gotten the confirmation, an extra confirmation that yes, I'm the one who sent that link. And number three, if mistakenly you tap on the link and you have to enter your details, your login details, do not enter your login details. Very important. Because once you enter your login details, that is how you use your account. Very important that when you get links like that, and if you don't trust the sender, you delete those links without opening them, without tapping on the link. And that's what is going on. A lot of spam emails, a lot of spam messages going around, spam text messages, just got this money. And one thing people need to use to get to identify these malicious users, the urgency they attach to it. You need to do it now. You need to do it now. Step back and wait, relax. Because when you go out with them, like you need to hurry and do it. That's how you use your account. Relax. Either you delete it or you get an extra confirmation. Are you the one who sent me this link? Okay, that's it. But if not, if you don't trust it, delete it. That's it.
Assuming you mentioned that if you have a profile or a page, not a page, but let's say I have an account, a Facebook account, it's not okay to put your contacts there. Now, what about having a Facebook page? You know, usually when you have a Facebook page, they'll ask for business accounts, for people to send in their messages if they want to buy something from you. Is it okay to have your numbers there? I mean, this is quite scary. Is it okay?
Yeah, I understand you. Some people out there, because it's good to have a business number, a business phone number. It won't cost much to have a separate line from your personal line, right? Now, if you're not privileged to have that, be prepared to get spam messages and all that from people who just want to mess around. Another thing is, it's best to use an email address instead of the phone number. If you look at a lot of sites today, a lot of big organizations today, corporations today, they have a toll-free number. Some of them do not even put out the number there. They only put in an email address. And that email address, any form of information you need, you send an email to that email address. And that's when they get back to you, right? So I'll suggest that people get a business account, business number, for just the business only, and not their personal number. Because when they put out their personal number there, they should be ready for spam calls, spam text messages. A lot is going out there, so they should be ready for that.
Okay, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I know it's very early at your end, but you still made time for us. But before we leave, your final words, yeah.
My final words, I would say to people listening, to people watching, it's good to have that additional layer of security. And if you've not done that, quickly go do that now, because the hackers are getting smarter and smarter every day. If you have a password that you've not changed for the past 2, 3, 4 years, it's not good. Ensure you change your password every 30 to 60 to 90 days. And do not use a password that can be easily guessed. And do not just use one level of security, have an additional one. 2-factor is there, recovery email is there. Protect yourself. Be part of the proactive group, not reactive group.
So thank you very much for joining us on this week's episode of the PV show, Moments of Truth. It's the moment of truth coming your way this and every Sunday right here on the PV show. We say it just as it is. We don't subtract anything from it. We say it and it's the realities on the ground. Yes, so if you are joining us for the first time, remember to click on the subscription button to subscribe to the PV show. Until we come back your way same time next week, remember to wash your hand with soap and running water. Use your hand sanitizers. Make sure you wear your nose mask and stay safe. We'll be back same time next week. Bye.